Islam. Peace, Hotep, Shalom. Greetings. Once again, Canaanland Mohrs class. Today is October 6th. Once again, Moorish Defense League. Right, and we got the mission statement up now. So we're going to start up with the mission statement. 1. To defend and protect all Moorish Americans throughout the Western Hemisphere for the defamation, slander, and libel deriving from any individual, organization, state of government. 2. To bring any and all violators before the proper court of law in the absolute defense of our nationality, birthrights, creed, and governing constitution. 3. The Moorish Defense League will serve as the head operative entity. The MDL will serve as the leading operative entity that will investigate and identify those who have indeed proven themselves to be hostile against our nation. These culprits will be exposed to the fullest extent of our law. 4. The Moorish Defense League will always open its lines of communication for intercommunal dialogue amongst other dignitaries in our efforts to establish meaningful relationships that will establish tolerance, understanding, and mutual respect. 5. The Moorish Defense League will continue to disseminate critical and relevant info to the masses of Moorish Americans pertaining to issues surrounding our nationality and birthrights. 6. The Moorish Defense League would establish district administrators that will represent every territory throughout our nation in defense and protection of all citizens belonging to this Moorocracy. 7. We bear witness to the divine prophethood of Noble Drew Ali. It is absolutely clear to this organization that his guidance and instructions must be adhered to. The Moorish Defense League is committed to the universal principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and will defend this Moorocracy with our very lives. And you could contact Brother Sheikh Jabbar Gaines Ill at 260-241-4080. 260-241-4080. So that was the mission statement for the Moorish Defense League. And again, the purpose of the Moorish Defense League is not to deal with nationalizing the Moors or anything to do with what the Moorish Science Temple and the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, etc. was created for or established for. The Moorish Defense League's purpose, and I'll stress the first act, to defend and protect all Moorish Americans throughout the Western Hemisphere from the defamation, slander, and libel derived from any individual, organization, state of government. And we're talking about de facto governments. Because if a de jure government is going against the people, automatically they're de facto. Right? And they don't need to even play around. Right? You already stated your position by your actions. Right? Now, we're going to go to quickly, because today's going to be a good one today. But we got to, pay some bills first. Right? Sundry Free Moors, 1790. The Moors Sundry Act of 1790 was passed by South Carolina legislature, granting special status to the subjects of Sultan of Morocco, Mohammed bin Abdullah. It recognized Moors as white people with jury duty as a privilege. Moors were not subjected to laws governing blacks and slaves. On January 20th, 1790, a petition was presented to the South Carolina House of Representatives from a group of 8 individuals who were subjects of the Moroccan emperor and residents of the colony. They desired that if they happened to commit any fault amendable to be brought to justice, that as subjects to a prince allied with the United States through the Moroccan-American Treaty of Peace and Friendship, they would be tried as citizens instead of under the Negro Act. The free Mohrs, Francis, Daniel, Hammond, and Samuel, petitioned on behalf of themselves and their wives, Fatima, Flora, Sarah, and Clorinda. They explained how some years ago, while fighting in defense of their country, they and their wives were captured and made prisoners of war by the Portuguese. So we'll just stop right there. Right? So that's the same thing that Mohr's been saying ever since Mohr's been around, that Mohrs are not slaves, cannot be slaves, never ever will be slaves, and anybody who claims the status of a slave falls under that assumable jurisdiction. Because slave is a colored term, because nobody can't be a slave. Just like there's no such thing as a slave ship or a slave car or a slave food or a slave, whatever you want to attach slave to, right? There aren't slave things. There's no such thing as slave things, right? Our people, according to Wikipedia, so we're not even delving into any, David McRitchie or nothing like that, right? We're not going into the history of the United States. We're going on Wikipedia. Now, Wikipedia is telling you that the free Mohrs, not the free blacks, like you hear about, and then they say that those people were free. No, free blacks are a separate jurisdiction. And then slave is a separate jurisdiction. That's why in the beginning, they said Mohrs were not to be subjected to the laws governing blacks and slaves, because those are two separate jurisdictions. So they have these two separate jurisdictions that they created, because black was created and then slave was created, because it tells you there that we're prisoners of war when we were fighting in defense of our country. Now, if these so-called people are under the jurisdiction of the Moroccan emperor at that time, 1790, why didn't these so-called free Mohrs go back to Africa after the petition went through and everything's legit and yeah, okay, we're going to recognize you as free Mohrs? Okay, how come they didn't go back to Africa? Why did they stay here? If the jurisdiction is Morocco and Morocco is in North Africa, logically, they should go back to Morocco. Logically. But they didn't. Why? Because this is their land. Fighting in defense of their country. They were captured and made prisoners of war by the Portuguese. And if you would have did your homework, like Grand Vanguard, Adisa, Hanib El told the Mohrs to do, you would go and do your research on the Treaty of Tordesillas. And the Treaty of Tordesillas is going to break down to you, after the Spanish Inquisition and they kicked the Moors out of Spain, how they divided up this part of the Moroccan Empire between the Spanish and the Portuguese. Right? Everything's laid out nice and easy. But we don't like stuff easy. We like stuff hard. That's why Noble Drew Ali said, Moors are going to learn, but it's going to be at the point of a sword or a gun in your face or bayonets on the street on guns. That's when you want to come proclaim your nationality. When everything's nice and we could go to the store and buy stuff and whatever, right? But as soon as you get that letter from the IRS that you owe back taxes 50 million, now you want to come to Moors classes and learn something. It doesn't work like that. We don't have no time for Negro, black, colored games anymore, huh? Nationality is the order of the day. Period. Nationality is the order of the day. If you want to call yourself Negro, black, colored, you're on a different side of the fence than I'm on. And I'm not coming over on that side to deal with you. You're going to have to come over on this side of the fence. And the only way you're going to come on this side of the fence is if you're national. Because everybody else on this side of the fence, the Chinese, the Hindis, the Pakistanis, or the Punjabis, the Moros, or the Philippines, Germans, Dutch, French, English, British. Everybody's on this side of the fence. And for some strange reason, Negro, black, colored people, and African, Pan-African, Garveyites, and all these people, they want to be on the side of the fence where they're beggars and victims. If you're a prisoner of war, you're not a victim. If you're a prisoner of war, it's because you are defending your country and you were doing such a good job that they had to take you out. Just like El Hajj. You're doing such a good job of getting the people to sway their mentality from free blacks and slaves or whatever into human rights, so that we can sit down at the table with humanity and discuss our issues and have something dealt with. But they took him out, right? And you know, don't blame the European, because Kennedy was going to bring back the gold standard and they took him out. So don't blame the European. There's enemies on both sides. And when we, as Mohrs, accept, right, this is what today's class is about. Today's class is about giving everybody that sees this documented proof, not hearsay, but from an actual individual. This is not hearsay that we're dealing with today. We're not dealing with speculation of anything, right? No speculation. We never deal with speculation. We deal with presenting the facts. As Mohrs, that's our obligation. Present the facts to the people. That's why we have a Ustream, so people could come here for free, go to class. You don't have to pay $10 to go to any classes. Even them charging you $10 is robbing you, because the information is your information. How are you going to pay for your own stuff? You can't pay for your own stuff. Right? This is yours. People who call themselves Mohrs have an obligation to get the people information that is, one, practical, and two, that they can pass down to their generations. Information that they can stockpile. That's how we're supposed to dump it on people. We're not supposed to be giving you the, oh yeah, well, you know, you're not ready for this yet. No. Here, take some writs, right? You have a ticket? All right. First of all, that's not a ticket, that's a suit. Here's some writs. File these writs at the court. There's this Mohr right here. He's going to show you everything what to do. And you just go, well, I don't know how to do that. I never said that on Mohr before. Don't worry, you're a Mohr. It's in your blood. Sundry Free Mohrs Act told you that you're a Mohr. When they said, we don't want to be tried under the Negro Act, government said, no problem. And they stayed in America. They didn't go back to Africa to go be with, you know, their ruler, the Sultan in Africa, because they were subjects of the Prince of Morocco. No, they stayed right here, right? This is your land. If you don't want it, don't worry. There's many nations on the planet. I could vouch, because we live in Toronto, one of the most multicultural places in the world, and everybody's here sucking off of Negro, black, colored people and their ignorance, sucking off them, leeching off them. You go to every single quote-unquote black community in Toronto, guaranteed, at the bottom of these apartment buildings, there's stores under them, some of them. And there's no people who look like us that run those stores. Right? And before these people came to this country, so-called country, before these people came here, right? Check this. Those bottoms of apartment buildings didn't have any stores in them. It was just the bottom of an apartment building. All of a sudden, these people start coming to this country, and now there's stores in buildings almost everywhere. Right? We spoke about sovereign citizens and making sure that you don't play around with sovereign citizens. The term, the wordage, if you happen to study from people who claim to be sovereign citizens, take everything else and leave sovereign citizens alone. Leave the practices of sovereign citizens alone, right? It's FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigations, right? They know what's up. It's right on their website. Sovereign citizens, a growing domestic threat to law enforcement. So they know. Stop playing around. You're Moorish Americans. Nobody really told you you're Moorish Americans. I don't care about more and then the ish and all that stuff. Okay, you're more American. Whatever. Do it for, okay, you want to leave more off? Okay, just say you're American. Because more is an American, A-M-E-R. A Moor. So regardless, you're a Moor. And you're in Moors land and you can't do anything about it. So just proclaim your nationality and let's stop playing around. Right? And we're going to show you how serious it is. As far as don't play around. Everybody knows that you're Moors. The name of today's class, right, is Moors in Germany, 2012. Right? Now this is first-hand information. This is not Runoko Rashidi went to Germany and came back and told me some stuff about black people in Germany. Yeah, the black people have been in Germany a long time. African presence in Germany. We don't deal with those crap labels. We deal with reality. We do not deal with fiction. Fiction is something we don't deal with. Right? So, I'm going to shut my big mouth and let the brother get to what he has to get to. And there's going to be a little question and answer. But I hope y'all enjoy today's class. Islam. Islam.
My name is Sheldon McKenzie, and originally I'm from Montreal. I live in Germany right now. I live in Nuremberg, Germany. And I started getting into this information, the Moorish information, first through a brother named Asir de Ducatiers. And in speaking to him, he told me, when I told him where I was, he said, "Oh, you're in Nuremberg, okay, in Bavaria." He told me that there's a big Moorish influence in Bavaria, and he said, just walk around the city and look around and see what you find. And it's amazing what you find when your eyes are open and you're looking for specific things, because I've been in Germany for 12 years now, living in Nuremberg for 10. And all this stuff that I found within my own city has been within the last, say, six to 8 months, because I was looking for it. So I have a bunch of images here that I took with my own camera. Some of them, my face is in the pictures so that you know that it's not pulled from the internet. I do have some images from the internet that I've also pulled, and I'll let you know which ones those are. First image is all throughout Germany. They have pharmacies called Mohrs Apotheke. Mohrs Apotheke means pharmacy. And these are all over Germany. So I have some pictures of that, as well as a lot of other stuff that we'll get to. But here's the first picture in my hometown of Nuremberg. Now hopefully you can see here, right up here, is the logo. Let me see if you can see that. And as you can see there, right there, there's a Moor's head, and that's the logo of the pharmacy. Now, each pharmacy in each town has a different logo, so I believe it's a franchise, and you get to choose the logo that you use. However, they all use Moorish logos. This is the front side of the pharmacy, and he says, and right there you see it says Mohrs Apotheke. That's Moors Pharmacy. Now you can see the logo in the bottom corner right here. I have a zoomed picture of that. Here it is. And that says Mohrs Cosmetics. Well, you know what cosmetics is. Now, if you look at the logo, It says Nuremberg 1442. So this was founded in 1442, before 1492. And the fact that they have this just kind of shows not only the influence, but the fact that, number one, we were loved, and number two, we're Moors. We're called Moors. This is a picture of me in front of the logo. So that's to let you know these are actual pictures that I took with my cell phone camera. Keeping that in mind, this is the door handle. This is the door handle of the pharmacy. A Moor's head on it. And this is in Nuremberg, Germany, where I live. So that's just Nuremberg. Now there's one day that I was traveling around, and Nuremberg's in Bavaria, so there's also Munich, there's also Regensburg, there's Bamberg, and Freising as well, and a bunch of other places. This image here was taken from the Mohrs pharmacy, Mohrs Apotheke, in Regensburg. Here it is. I just walked into the city, found it, popped the picture. This is the logo from 1517. And that's the Moor with the turban on. It's more cartoonish, but regardless, it's still a Moor. That's the front door. And this is me in the picture with it in the background. Staying with the theme of the Mohrs pharmacy. Now this is what I pulled off of the internet, because once I started finding these images in my own town and around the surrounding areas, I just did a search for Mohrs Apotheke. This statue should freak a bunch of people out, because this is from the Mohr's pharmacy, Mohrs Apotheke, in Halle, Germany. That's a little bit north west, I believe, in Germany. Halle is spelled H-A-L-L-E. And that is the statue that they have outside of the pharmacy on the building. This picture that I have here not only is from the internet, but I Google Earthed it, and I went down to street level and I got this picture. And so I cut it out and I printed it out. This is it pulled back. So the other one was a close-up. This is it pulled back. You can see it's on top of the building. And this is the building here. Now the statue is in that corner right up there. That's where it is. And you can see right here, it says Mohrs Apotheke, Mohr's Pharmacy. Let me bring that in. So you see the statue right in there. This is from Google Earth. I just pulled this approximately 6 weeks ago or so. Google Earth.
Oh, brother, don't let me interrupt you, but let's take a pause for the cause right now.
Okay.
So you're going around this place where you know you've lived for all these years, right? And you're bumping into this information, right? In a place where, you know, they say you're not from, and you know you have to go back to Africa, and you know they might even have people over there that are you know, I don't want to use the term race because I know they probably don't deal with it over there, but you probably get abused being how you look, you know, just like we do everywhere in the world, you know what I mean? But how does this solidify in your mind your connection to Moors opposed to black and whatever else that we've been taught that we are.
Well, it's interesting that you asked me that because a friend of mine is a teacher, and she teaches high school, and she teaches the highest level of high school, which is called gymnasium. And when I started coming on this information, she was like, yeah, that's what we learn in school, that black people are Moors. Like, they're Moors. That's what we learn. So I'm like, really? Like, you never told me that before, but then I never asked. So then I started, the more I started learning, I started talking to another friend of mine, Florian, and he's a gym teacher. And, I was telling him I was taking some online courses, and he was asking me what about it, and I said, the Moors. And he said, yeah, we know black people as Moors, like black people as Moors. We learn as Moors. But then, and he told me, this is his exact words. He said, but then you guys started calling yourselves black and Negro and so on. And so we just said, okay, that's what you call yourself, so obviously we're going to call you that. That's what he told me.
So, and this is a European?
This is a European.
This is a European telling you this?
Yeah.
So-called slave master telling you that you chose to call yourself those names, and they're not, the jurisdiction was created and we jumped in it willingly.
Yeah.
So that means we put ourselves in, we took ourselves out of prisoner of war status and put ourselves in slavery status. Yeah,
that's pretty much it. I mean, what he was telling me is like we follow the U.S. is such, the America, I should say, is so powerful in the images that it spreads to the rest of the world that he was basically saying like we just follow you guys in the United States, of America. We just follow you. So if you say you're pink, okay, you're pink. That was pretty much it. He said you guys started calling yourselves black and Negro, and so that's what we follow suit because you know yourselves better. But he learned, us as Moors. That's what they learned. That's what he learned in school. And he's 30 years old, and he's a gym teacher now. So, and then there's another. Let me get to this image actually. That leads me into this next image.
No, go ahead, brother. The show's yours.
A friend of mine, another Florian. There's a lot of flows in Germany. He's 26, I believe, and we play basketball together and stuff. And I was telling him what I'm learning and stuff like that. And he told me, he came to me and he said, well, he thought that Moor was a derogatory statement because when he went to the Volksfest, which is kind of like a traveling amusement park that comes around twice a year to Nuremberg, called Volksfest. He said that at certain booths, they sell ice cream at certain booths. It's chocolate ice cream, and they call it Ice Moor, which means ice is ice cream and more. They call it Ice Moor. And he said something like some people petitioned, I think it was the Europeans or something, but I'm not 100% sure, but some people petitioned thinking that that was a derogatory mark and they wanted to take that out because it was tied to ice cream and stuff like that. So he thought it was removed. Now, this blew me away because I went to the Volksfest. It came back. It comes twice a year, and I went to the one in fall. And I went around with another friend of mine, Robbie, that I also play basketball with. And they still had the stand there. And I took a picture of it. Now, if you see at the top here, it says Ice Moor. And you see in the corner right there, that's the logo. And I blew it up, and this is it. Ice Moor. For €1.50 or €2. And this is still there. I just took this in, I think September it was, when I went. So,
okay. Now you also mentioned teaching institutions that some people learned about this in school, and you went to school out there.
No, I didn't go to school.
Oh, you didn't go to school.
I did 3 months exchange in design.
Okay.
School. Yeah.
So, I mean, prior to going there, you were oblivious to
I was completely
Mohrs
oblivious
and-
to all this information. What led me to this information was I had a tough time working last year, so I was at home quite a bit, and I was looking for spiritual explanations of what was happening, and that led me to YouTube, and I saw a couple of videos, and then that's when I stumbled on Asir the Ducateers. Respect goes out to him because he has a lot of information, and I called him, and he's the one who told me about the influence in Germany and stuff. And then the more I started learning, I said, I wonder if there's something in Canada. Mm-hmm. And that led me to Temple 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what got me on this path. And I'm actually, when I look at the fact that it was tough, I had a tough time like last year, I'm actually glad, because I would have never ever come to this information if everything was running smoothly.
Right. Right.
You know. So here's a couple of more images. These are more logos of the Mohrs and Apothekas in Germany. This one is in Nuremberg. You saw that one already. This one is in Baesweiler. This big one here. This one is in Bergheim, right here. This was in Frankfurt. This one's in Munich. And it's all, bring that in so you can see it's melanated people. It's in Munich. That one's in Sarstedt. This is all from the internet. I pulled these all from the internet. I didn't take these pictures. This is from Coburg. And if you type in Mohrs and Apotheka, there's so much more. Because Germany, there's 80 million people and there's a lot of cities. So, as we move on, so that's the Mohrs Pharmacy. Next up is sticking with my hometown, the city, Nuremberg. This is Frauenkirche, which means women's church, and that's in Hauptmatt, which is the city center. And in Nuremberg, there's a lot of churches. There's probably within the city center, there's maybe 4 or 5 churches. So this one here is Frauenkirche in Hauptmatt. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because where you see where that clock is at the top there, they have figurines up there. And this image, I pulled this off the internet because when I was in the city and I looked up, I thought I saw a dark figurine up there, but my camera wasn't able to take the picture. So you can see it here, and then this is the blown up shot of the clock. And if you see right here, that is a Mohr. You can see the dark color, and if you want to compare it to the other one, you see the other figurine. He's light, and this figurine is dark. That's a Mohr. That's on the church in my hometown of Nuremberg. There's a pedestrian bridge near the Starbucks in my town, and I was there walking on the bridge, and I figured, let me check, because normally they have carvings within the stone. So I took 3 shots to give you a perspective of the bridge. So here's the first shot, and this is going away from Hauptmatt, where we were with the church. This is walking away from it. And you see that little roundabout here where people go in and they look at the water and stuff. So that's the first picture. Here's the second shot. And now the detail starts to come in. If you see right here, there's a picture of a Mohr carved into the stone. Now here's the close-up of it. And I took this picture with my own camera. It's not from the internet.
I know. Also, too, keep in mind with this one that this is also the coat of arms, the Black and Moor coat of arms, right? That we've been exposed to through the teachings also. So the coat of arms is carved in a bridge in Germany.
In Nuremberg, Germany.
If this doesn't let you know how etched the Moorish paradigm is in the rest of the people of the world, we have serious issues that we need to deal with as soon as possible, like very serious issues, you know.
Okay, next. This is the coat of arms in Freising, Germany, which is from Nuremberg. It's about an hour and a half to 2 hour drive, 2 hours by train. Also in Bavaria. Bavaria is in the southeast part of Germany. Here is the coat of one of the coat of arms, what they had painted on a wall, and you can see the Moor right here, and that's from this painting. I believe is from 1933, as it says in the painting. Excuse me. And the bear, the story here was, and this you can research, that I believe it was the king of Freising one day was on his horse or something like that and was attacked by a bear, and it was the Moor that subdued the bear. And so they decided to use the Moor and put them in the coat of arms. That's why there's the bear there, and there's the Moor's head. That's from 1933, and I'm going to show you a perspective of the building. This is where, that's the building from the outside. So that picture of the Moors down here, and then they have other images, and at the top there's actually a pyramid. Bring that in closer. Here's a close-up of the pyramid at the top. And this is, I've taken this with my own camera. So I zoomed in. This is me in the shot. And there is another shot of it.
Now, with your going around and seeing these things, what's the, were you able to talk with people? Like you know, people might see you taking a picture on, what you taking pictures of, or it's not really
no,
like that?
it wasn't really like that.
Okay.
They just, there's a couple of pictures that I took where, you know, obviously people are walking by and they turn and they're like, what are you taking pictures of?
Yeah.
But it's not really, not really like
right.
that. Nobody really talks to
Yeah, because they know.
Yeah.
It's not a secret, obviously, to them. How is it that, how does this, because you know you're going along this journey, you know what I mean, and you're finding out these things, and is there any spiritual relation to, as far as, you know, coming into the Moorish information, like where you were spiritually prior to this, and then coming into this information, and has something happened where, you know, the doors kind of swing open for you a little bit, you know, or
well,
just based on your experience?
I would say that it's just refreshing to hear like my own people talking about this. you know, and this information, getting it from, you know, my own people. And this is 100% no disrespect to any Europeans or anything like that. It's just nice to have your own people like bringing this information and you learning about it, because it seems as though in this society we're always handed stuff by the Europeans, and once again, no disrespect to them, but it's just nice to be able to talk about astrology and astronomy and stuff like that with your own people, you know. So this information for me is so, I started finding this and I started searching more and more and more and more, because prior to that, I never really focused on this. I'm a designer. I design footwear, and I was always into drawing and sketching and creating stuff, and I still do that. That's what I love to do, and I always focused on that. And when I was younger, I always heard, okay, we were kings and queens over in Africa and this and that and so on and so forth, and that was great, but it just stopped there. There wasn't any, and then it's over there too. It's in Africa too. It has nothing to do with here. So me finding out that we were always here, and then it's like, you know, that makes sense. I mean, you got the Olmecs and the Aztecs and the Arawaks and the Caribs and stuff that were in 1500 BC, and you know, and you never really think about that, but you just keep hearing over there, over there, over there. So this is so relevant for me. I find this is so relevant for me, and you know, I'm talking to my sister about this, and both my sisters and my younger sister saying, "Wow, this is huge."
Yeah, where they live? They live.
Yeah, my older sister, she lives in Montreal.
Yeah.
And my younger sister just lives in Oshawa.
Right.
And I was talking to her about it, and she's saying, "Wow, this is huge." Yeah. So.
You also mentioned I wanna plug, you know, because you're freelance. Right, so we want to make sure we get the word out on you know, because we know a lot of people don't know how involved some of our people are in keeping the legacy of the ancestors alive. So, you know, like the shoe lasting machine and these things that, you know, we're not told that that's part of our culture, right? But you know, and feel, because we got time, you know what I mean? So feel free to go in on you know, that aspect, how you came to be in
into footwear design.
Yeah.
It's a funny story actually, because when I was in grade 9, it's in French class actually. Our professor, she was on the verge of a nervous breakdown. So for like 3/4 of the year, we didn't do any work. So we'd come to class, she'd dim the lights, she'd put on an ocean tape, and she would read a book. And a friend of mine, Marty, him and I used to sketch, and he was a really good drawer. And I used to draw. I've been drawing pretty much all my life, but my skills really improved in that class because he was really, really tight, and I learned a lot of drawing from him. And he used to sketch shoes, but more cartoon style. And and that's how I got into drawing shoes more. And at that point as well, that's when I started getting into playing basketball, as well as Nike was bringing out really interesting designs and stuff, and taking over the visual aspect of the footwear, taking over Adidas and stuff, and that's how I got into it. And when you start playing basketball, your first goal is what? To make the NBA. So my thoughts were, okay, I'd like to make the NBA, but if I don't make it, it would be great to design shoes for NBA players so that I can get free tickets to the games. And that's pretty much how it started. And then once I started drawing it more and more, and then learning more about the function and stuff, because I'm a person that likes to create, not necessarily draw, but to create something, and learning about the function and the different elements. After a while, I just realized, you know, this is something that I love to do, and I would do it for free. So once I figured out what I would do for free, I realized that that would be my profession. So that's how I got into it, and then once I realized that every single decision that I made was to put me in the position to design footwear. So I studied illustration and design in Montreal, even though that's not what I needed to take to design footwear. I needed industrial design, but I went into that program because we were supposed to introduce it the following year. They never did, so I graduated there, and looking for work to earn money to go back to school in the States. That led me out to Vancouver, found a school out there, studied industrial design there, got on the exchange committee. After my first year, built up my marks, got on the exchange committee, and got the opportunity to go to Berlin. So that's how I got connected to Germany. I chose Berlin because nobody else went there, and I wanted to blaze my own trail. So went to Berlin, and my professor, it's like when you really want something, you'll get it. You know, my professor had a connection to Adidas in Germany, so he invited one of his students was working there. So ex-students was working there, so he invited a student up for one of my presentations, and from there I got an internship. And then once I got the internship, the foot was in the door, and once the foot is in the door, people know about you. So from there, did my internship, met another guy who was doing his grad project in the same division. He lived in Munich, which is about an hour and a half drive south of Nuremberg. He was doing his grad project. He graduated while I still had one more year of design school to do. He graduated, went to work for Puma. I went back to school, kept in touch with him. When I graduated, Puma was hiring, so I went back to Germany and started working at Puma. And then from there, after 2 years at Puma, then I went to Adidas, and then the ball was rolling. So, and I've been designing footwear for 13 years now. 13 years. So that's how it started. So, peace, Islam.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, getting back to some more images. This, I think, will be also interesting. This is still staying in my hometown of Nuremberg. There's a beer company called Tusha Beer. And they are a Nuremberg beer company. And this is a truck that was actually this truck is sitting in front of the Frauen, the women's church that I showed you with the Mohr on it. This truck is in front of it. I took this picture, and look at the logo. The logo is a Mohrs head, and there's a crown on top of it.
That's a truck driving around.
That's a truck.
Today.
That picture was taken in, I think it was August or something, when it was warm outside. And this is in front of the church with the Mohr figure at the bottom. So I forgot to put myself in the picture because I was actually with a friend, and you know, she could have taken a picture for me, but that's, and this is a Nuremberg company.
What
Here's
do they do? Alcohol?
Yeah, this is beer. Yeah. Here's this image here is taken from the internet. This on the bottom here, and this shows a close-up of the logo in the beer, Tusha. Now, what they do in Germany is beer companies sponsor beer gardens, and a beer garden is where people get together outside and they drink beer. That's what they do. So Tusha has a lot of beer gardens. They sponsor a lot of beer gardens around the way, and this is a beer garden on top of a bar that's called Swinger. It's Z-W-I-N-G-E-R. It's pronounced Swinger. It's like Swinger, and that's, you can see the canopies, the umbrellas there with the Tusha beer on it, and you can see the big sign saying Tusha beer. If you guys can see
it's like I see one face down there with a red face kind of looking.
And here is a close-up of the canopies. Tusha beer, and you can see underneath, where is it? There. That's the logo, the Mohrs head. Now, this one, I just found this on the internet. Staying with the beer theme, because Germans and Austrians love their beer. This here, I was surfing the internet and I found this logo, and then I found the website. This is an Austrian beer company, and it's called Mohrs. That's what it is. And it says that's Vorarlberger Bier, and Vorarlberg is a place in Austria. So here's the logo, and look how many beer products they have with the logo on it.
You ever see them sitting there just drinking it?
Nah, but the Tusha beer, yeah, because it's in Nuremberg, right?
Right.
But that's how many they have. 12 different products, and the company is called Mohrs. It's not Tusha beer with just the Mohr logo. It's called Mohrs. There it is. And the website, you guys can see the website if you want to check it out. Hope you guys can read that. Check it out for yourself. And one last image that I have here is there's a chocolate company called Sarotti, and they're also in Germany. They have since changed the logo to a more lighter complexioned Mohr, but still, this was the original logos that they had. And here it is. This I took this actual picture. This was at a flea market in Nuremberg. I actually was looking around, and I planned to go back and buy a couple of items. And I was telling Cujo that, and then the next day it was closed, and I had no idea. I was vexed. But here, this is what they have, and it says Drei Mohren Mischung. That means 3 more mixture. That's what it says. Drei Mohren Mischung. So that's the logo that they have. So that concludes all the images that I've taken. There's a few more that I didn't bother to bring, because it's still like more Mohren Apothekas, Mohrs pharmacies and stuff like that. But that's what I have so far, and now every single country that I go to, I'm looking for artifacts now, especially in Germany. In February, I believe I gotta go to Munich again for a trade show, so I'll be looking around there. Whatever city I go to, I'm gonna always be looking for stuff, because it's amazing what you find when you're looking for it. So that's it.
Islam. I have questions.
Yep.
What are your experiences like if you speak to other people in Germany, European or more, with your information that you found, or just showing them pictures? What's the reaction?
Well, like I was saying earlier, 2 of my friends are teachers. One taught at the highest level of high school, so that's called gymnasium.
Okay.
And when I started finding this stuff, and I mentioned to her, she's like, "Yeah, that's what we learned. That's what she learned in school. That quote unquote black people are Mohrs. That's what you're Mohrs." And it was funny because I'm like, "Well, why didn't you ever tell me that?" But I never asked.
That's true.
So it's kind of like figuring. She must figure you guys know that, right?
Obviously know that, right?
So she was one, and then my other friend Florian, he's a gym teacher. He's now 30 years old, and he's a gym teacher.
Okay.
And I was telling him about the online courses that I was taking, and he said, yeah, that's what they learned. They learned in school that you're Moors and stuff. But what he said is, yeah, but then you guys started saying that you were black and that you're Negro, so we just follow what you guys say because you guys know you. And the America, the United States has such an influence on what they put out, and everybody kind of follows, the United States or America. So he just said, you guys start calling yourself black and stuff, so we started doing that. And another thing that I forgot to say too, a friend of mine, Rob, that I also play basketball. There's a big basketball community there.
Okay, see.
He is...
we're balling down here too.
He's half Moor and half German, and I'm not 100% sure where his father's from.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's African or the States, but I would think from the U.S. the States.
Okay.
And he said on his father's identification card it says Moor on it. Because when I went to the courts and I was playing, and somebody was one of my friends were talking this black stuff. I kept saying I'm not black, I'm a Moor, and they started laughing. And then at the end of the day, when we're done playing, we're walking out the court. Rob goes, yeah, to tell you the truth, my father's identification said Moor on it. And he's half Moor, half European.
Yeah.
So his father, I don't know if his father's African Moor or American.
Was it a German identification?
Yeah.
So everything was written in German. And then
I didn't see it, but he told me.
Yeah.
German ID.
Yeah, it was a German ID.
That's crazy.
Interesting.
Very.
But I think his father's American because there's a lot of GIs that are stationed in that area. So when he told me that, I'm like, there it is.
Is there? I saw some of the pictures that you showed too. There were some old pictures. I don't know. Yeah. See this one right here.
Yeah.
This one. So it's a health store, right?
Apotheke means pharmacy.
Pharmacy.
So wherever you have wherever you have a doctor, in whatever building, right underneath there's a pharmacy.
Yeah. That's what.
And those pictures that I have there that I didn't show, that's from a website, and it was showing the history of this particular Mohrs pharmacy.
Yeah. And I saw two of them standing out there. So everybody's walking by.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, let's go to there. Let's go there. Is there any seeing this? Is there anybody there who's conscious of the fact that, oh yeah, that's the Mohrs thing? And are they like, I'm not going there because it's Mohr? Or is there...
that's nothing that I never saw. I mean, it's just a pharmacy. For them, it's a pharmacy.
Right.
It's not only... They have different pharmacies with different names, right? This is from a website. The reason why I didn't show this is because I can't remember the website that it was. It just says Mohrs and Apotheke. If you research it, if you Google it, you'll probably come up on this. And this was an image of their original pharmacy before it changed out the years. So I just pulled these off.
Okay.
Even
But you can see the Mohr right here in the image, right?
Right.
So apotheke
Means pharmacy.
Means pharmacy.
Yeah.
What now? Cause that sounds indigenous.
That
doesn't sound German. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't sound German per se. Is there or is that somewhere that probably we need to go, like the language in Germany and
and this is what it looks like now, probably, right?
No, this is a different one.
It's a chain.
Yeah, these are all over, and that's the statue on the top of this building. That's the statue right there.
We could run through some of the pics again.
Sorry, I'm hype. I know.
Yeah, so this is the one that I showed before. This is this is the one from Halle, Germany. Halle. If you type in, and this is like I said, I pulled this off of Google Earth, so it's there today. And if you go into Google and type in Mohren, Mohren, Apotheke, Halle, Halle, Germany, this image is gonna come up, and then you Google Earth it, because you'll get the address and everything. You Google Earth it, go down to street level, and you'll see this.
One thing's amazing too. They're not even trying to do that Inquisition thing and make it look like Moors are these light-skinned Arabs or anything like that. They're not even on that.
No, dark skin.
And you're thinking,
nappy hair.
People, okay, being outside of Germany and all the propaganda, whatever that goes out about it, you would think that's like you walk down the street and there's signs that say nigger.
Yeah.
Everything racist. Like your subconscious is thinking like if you're thinking anywhere in Europe is racist, it's Germany.
Well, I'm not gonna say it's you know it's a bucket of roses there because when I was there, I was trying to find an apartment and two of them I didn't get two apartments because of my skin tone.
Right.
And then the third apartment that I got, when I called the landlady, I told her at that time I was using black. Obviously, I said, "Listen, I'm black. If you got a problem, I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want to waste my time." And she said, "No, there's no problem, whatever." So when I went there, she was there with her brother. And her brother was saying, "I know what you're going through because his best friend is an African, and he went through the same thing. So I got the apartment like this, and I've been there for the last 10 years." So
that could happen to you in
anywhere,
like Washington, anywhere, right? But I hear your point still. That it's not necessarily it's not racism, but I think it's just weird how we would think.
Oh, the other one's over there.
That's why it's busting our brain.
You need to see. This one here. Well, you saw the bridge, right?
Yeah.
Picture of the bridge. You saw this?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's on the bridge. That's
on the pedestrian bridge. But this one here.
Yeah, that one killed the ice cream.
This one here, ice cream, chocolate ice cream. It's called Ice More, Ice Cream More. And look at the logo. Euro 50 to €2 for the bigger one.
Yo.
No, the other thing too is the Moorish connection to indigenous, because he's wearing a grass skirt.
Right. This is
a grass skirt, right?
Yeah.
You know, stuff around the neck or whatever, hair pulled back. You know what I mean, right? So they know
people.
They know that the indigenous people are the dark-skinned people. Yeah. Right.
Whether look like this.
Right, whether they're dark, right? Whether they're dark or orange.
Right.
Yeah.
That's nice.
For real.
So,
some of these ones here. So these also are.
These are other Mohrs Apotheke, Mohrs Pharmacy logos all over Germany. So this is the one in Nuremberg in my hometown. This is in Coburg. They're all different because it's a franchise, and so. You could have whatever logo you want, in a sense.
Mohrs Apotheke is a pharmaceutical
chain
company, and then they franchise to people who
I believe that's the way it is, because I was researching that and trying to find out.
It seems so.
And trying to find out like how this works, and it's
so all of them use the same name.
This company here says Mohrs Apotheke, but it's a Christian.
This one, this is Curtin here.
Below it.
Oh, this one here
is like a separate company that brought into the chain. And then you're right. So I think it might be.
I think it's like I think it's a franchise,
but
and
I mean,
it belongs to the franchise.
Okay,
so.
Look at the date. Oh,
yeah, 1442.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. 1442.
Like
there's some
prior.
That's Moorish Empire.
Yeah, that's Moorish Empire time,
man.
But extending into Germany.
Yeah, that's true.
Extending into Germany.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
Show you. There's one from 1517.
Empire for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one
Moorish
right
Empire.
This one in
that's
Regensburg.
That's evidence.
Regensburg's from 1517.
That's evidence there too, because Moors were still under these in Spain even at that time.
Even at that time. But then also too, when we do the timeline, so we have 1570, right, and then
1442.
The sundry. Because we're talking about the sundry free Moors in the beginning, right? 1790, right?
Yeah.
So now there's all these examples and instances before Amistad,
right?
That we didn't come from anywhere. We're Aboriginal, indigenous to anywhere that we are at. That's why there's German Moors wearing a grass skirt in Germany, where they got snow and stuff in Germany.
Yeah, for sure.
So they get snow and stuff in
For
Germany,
sure.
but they're using grass skirt. Indigenous people.
That's true.
Like how they
In the
using
snow country.
unless that landmass was not always like that.
Or just in the summer then.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or,
in the
yeah.
summertime.
I mean, you know,
because it's the same climate as here.
right?
So
Okay.
Crazy.
yeah.
Yeah,
the door handle, man.
The door handle.
Is that
every like
this door handle.
That's just
I
door
just
handle.
I literally took this picture. I would say maybe 3 weeks ago before I came here because I was in town and I was doing something and and every time I go into town I look at it and I was like, but wait, is that the logo on the door handle? So I took that picture. That's from the Mohrs pharmacy in Nuremberg, in my hometown.
Okay.
Like this,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah. So it's all over.
Is
It's all over.
the four heads? You know anything? Is that in Germany? There's
four
supposed
heads.
to be a statue of four Moors holding up like a globe, and then this became a theme.
Oh, I have
Right?
no idea.
Okay, yeah.
No idea.
We gotta look into that.
so much we got.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Because in terms of like, you know that flag where they have the four Moors heads with the cross?
With the cross, yeah.
Yeah. There's something to do with the European who had Moorish ancestry that did that.
Mhm.
They liked it,
Mhm.
but then I guess then they boxed him
Okay.
and imprisoned him or whatever, or annexed him or exiled him or something like that.
Mm.
And they kind of painted him like you're a Moor lover type
Okay.
thing.
Okay.
And then they like penalized him, but then it seems to me like they used that to kind of like they still kept up the statue. You know what I mean? They still like how they have Saint Maurice still there, and like they have all these things here.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if it's that they're trying to hide the history,
Mhm.
what is making them obligated to have this up? Because it must be an obligation. Because if I'm thinking the internal fight in Germany, wouldn't Germans say, "What are you doing?
Mm.
You're going against our nation," because they're fighting for their nation or whatever they've been doing.
Mm.
So what is keeping them at bay when it comes to certain things?
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that.
Curious.
I don't really know,
Mm.
but there's something about Germany that likes to preserve like the historical stuff.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why I say that is because in the Second World War, Nuremberg was flattened.
Yeah.
And now to rebuild it, there's certain stones that you have to use to rebuild the building so that it still has that look of those times. You can't just use anything to rebuild, so that could probably have something to do with it.
But they have to go back into the Moorish signs.
I think they just have to, I think there's certain things that whether the locals or whatever, if you want to say, like it or not, I think there's something to do with history there that's very important.
Okay.
And they have to preserve it whether the regular people like it or not,
Okay.
because like I said with Nuremberg, you look at the buildings and especially in the old city, they're using this like reddish type of pinkish huge stone that was obviously manufactured, but that's with the same type of stone that they had back then before everything was destroyed. So they always try to preserve that old look in a sense. So maybe that has something to do with it. And speaking of St. Moritz, this is a picture that I took. I think I was in Regensburg for this, and it's this woman having chocolate. It's like a chocolate massage thing being poured on her back, and it says St. Moritz up there.
Wow.
It's a question. It says no here, and meaning like the chocolate St. Moritz type of thing.
Right.
But
right.
they're
called it Saint Moritz.
yeah, it's like they're asking like is that from St. Moritz or something? Like a play, but they're talking about some chocolate. I think it's a cocoa for your skin or something like that. So, so they know about that stuff, They is fascinating to me, and now my eyes are open, and I just keep looking for stuff.
Okay. Did you? Well, I don't know. I saw someone on YouTube. A brother went to Scotland. Was that you?
Nah.
Okay.
Not yet.
Hold on. But anyway, this brother went to. He was in Scotland. And I guess he bumped into, I guess, an old. I don't know if it's a castle or whatever. And then he went in there, and he saw like they're teaching in the schools, and they're showing pictures of these so-called Scottish kings and stuff, and they have pictures for them and everything. And then he goes into the place actually, and he's looking at the pictures, and he's like, hold on, and they were all Moors, really, but when they produced them outside of the palace, they made fake pictures of who they were and stuff like that. So like, I know England did it with a lot of them too. King Edward the Fourth or the Third, sorry, who was the king for Queen Charlotte. They were both Moors. But then you can go on Google and you just type up King Edward the Third, and you have this fake picture up there. But then there's people who've exposed who went in and took the pictures and stuff. So I was just saying, like, yeah, you're probably gonna find stuff. Man.
When I started finding all of this,
if you found this,
I was saying like I have to go to Andalusia, Spain.
Okay.
Have to. And that's, you know, when I head back, that's one of those trips that I'm gonna make, and I'm just gonna take a bunch of pictures.
Right. And you have the mindset too.
And every time I travel, man, I'm just looking for it now.
Okay.
Because
it's weird. I haven't heard of anybody, like I've heard some brothers like True Master went to Spain and came back with a bunch of stuff, but to know what you're looking for now.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like I was telling Grand Sheik, I was saying, like, when I took design, I studied design. My design history teacher said, you know, when you go out, look at stuff that people don't normally look at. So look at manhole covers and stuff like this, because you'll get a lot of history in that piece of steel. They'll have a date, and they'll have like something in there that takes you back to those times. So you always said, like, look at different things. Don't look at the normal thing, you know? So when I got in contact with Asir the Ducatiers, and he said, you're in Nuremberg, check out the area.
Okay.
And I've been there for now 10 years in Nuremberg, 12 years in Germany. I started looking, and I'm like, swinger bar with this logo, Morgan Apotheke, and I pass it every day, going to the gym or doing whatever. You just don't really look at it. And I saw that, and the same teacher that I told you about that said, like, that's what they learn in school. When I told her, she's like, yeah, there's Morgan Apotheke in Nuremberg. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. You know, so it's like, that's normal stuff for them.
Yeah.
Absolute normal stuff for them.
You ever cross-reference now some info with some of this info?
Okay.
Ain't this book Ancient and Modern Britons? Oh, you don't know?
No, I don't
know.
Okay.
It goes into
a lot of the stuff I'm a rookie
German.
with, man.
I mean, this book it stopped printing, Volume 1 and Volume 2, but like, you're gonna be impressed with this book. I want to try. You gotta get him Ancient and Modern Britons, because the information that he has, and like, I'm just looking. If you skim through this,
You have to cross-reference.
like what you just cross-referenced, I opened the first book. I'm like, oh, Austrian Moravia, Scottish Moravia, and then the thing is, what he's doing is he's saying that the Europeans, all of them, every specific section and all that kind of stuff, are all originally Moors. Like the places, the people. He goes in and like goes off on it, so they have to just kind of silence the book. So new thing, we'll get you that, so you can like dissect.
Read that since you're doing class today.
So you can dissect this with more information. Yo, I need this.
Oh man. Major banks, governmental officials, and their comrade capitalist targets of Spire Law Group LLP's racketeering and money laundering lawsuits seeking return of 43 trillion to the United States Treasury. Wow. Wow. Okay. New York, October 25th, 2010. So let me show this.
I don't know what it is.
This is heavy duty. Spire Law Group, LLP's national homeowners lawsuit pending in the venue where the banksters control their $43 trillion racketeering scheme, New York, quote unquote, or in brackets, New York, known as the largest money laundering and racketeering lawsuit in United States history, and identifying $43 trillion of laundering money by the banksters and their U.S. racketeering partners and joint ventures. Now pinpoints the identities of the key racketeering partners of the banksters located in the highest offices of government and acting for their own self-interests. In connection with the federal lawsuit now impending in the United States District Court in Brooklyn, New York, case number 12CV 04269JBW-RML, involving, among other things, a request that the district court rejoin all mortgage foreclosures by the banksters nationwide unless and until the entire $43 trillion is repaid to a court-appointed receiver, plaintiffs. Now establish the location of the $43 trillion of laundered money in a racketeering enterprise participated in by the following individuals without limitation: Attorney General Holder, acting in his individual capacity; Assistant Attorney General Tony West, the brother-in-law of Defendant California Attorney General Kamala Harris, both acting in their individual capacities; John Corzine, former New Jersey governor; Robert Rubin, former Treasury Secretary and bankster; Timothy Geithner, Treasury Secretary, acting in his individual capacity; Vikram Pandit, recently resigned and disgraced chairman of the board of Citigroup; Valerie Garrett, a senior White House advisor; Anita Dunn, a former communications director for the Obama administration; Robert Bauer, husband of Anita Dunn and chief legal counsel for the Obama re-election campaign, as well as banksters themselves and their affiliates and conduits. The lawsuit alleges several violations of the United States Patriot Act, the policy of embargo against Iran and countries hostile to the foreign policy of the United States, and the Racketeering Influenced and Corruption Organizations Act, commonly known as the RICO statute, and other state and federal laws.
Yeah, so we can stop right there. All right, so that's 2010. So how is this able to happen? Right, know what Jolly said, the Europeans going to tell the truth. So we're going to go to James Traficant's famous U.S. bankruptcy speech, 1993. Speaker, Representative James Traficant Jr., Ohio, addressing the House. Mr. Speaker, we are here now in Chapter 11. Members of Congress are official trustees presiding over the greatest reorganization of any bankrupt entity in world history, the U.S. government. We are setting forth, hopefully, a blueprint for our future. There are some who say it is a coroner's report that will lead to our demise. It is an established fact that the United States federal government has been dissolved by the Emergency Banking Act, March 9, 1933, 48 Statute 1, Public Law 89-719, declared by President Roosevelt, being bankrupt and insolvent. HJR 192, 73rd Congress, M Session, June 5th, 1933, joint resolution to suspend the gold standard and abrogate the gold clause, dissolved the sovereign authority of the United States and the official capacities of all United States governmental officers, and departments. And it's further evident that the United States federal government exists today in name only. Let's fast forward a little. There is a fundamental difference between paying and discharging a debt. To pay a debt, you must pay with value or substance, i.e. gold, silver, barter, or commodity. With Federal Reserve notes, you can only discharge a debt. You cannot pay a debt with a debt currency system. You cannot service a debt with a currency that has no backing in value or substance. No contract in common law is valid unless it involves an exchange of good and valuable consideration. Unpayable debt transfers power and control to the sovereign power structure that has no interest in money, law, equity, or justice because they have so much wealth already. Their lust is for power and control. Since the inception of central banking, they have controlled the fates of nations. The Federal Reserve System is based on the canon law, which is the popes, and the principles of sovereignty protected in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. In fact, the international bankers used a canon law trust as their model, adding stock and naming it a joint stock trust. The U.S. Congress just passed a law making it illegal for any legal person to duplicate a joint stock trust in 1873. The Federal Reserve Act was legislated post facto to 1870, although post facto laws are strictly forbidden by the Constitution. Article 1, Section 9. The Federal Reserve System is a sovereign power structure separate and distinct from the federal United States government. The Federal Reserve is a maritime lender and/or maritime insurance underwriter to the federal United States, operating exclusively under admiralty and maritime law. The lender or underwriter bears the risk and the maritime law compelling specific performance in paying the interest or premiums are the same. Assets of the debtor can also be hypothecated to pledge something as a security without taking possession of it, as security by the lender or underwriter. The Federal Reserve Act stipulated that the interest on the debt was to be paid in gold. There is no stipulation in the Federal Reserve Act for ever paying the principal. Prior to 1913, key date, most Americans owned clear allodial title to property, free and clear of any liens or mortgages until the Federal Reserve Act, 1913. Right? So we'll stop there and go to Mr. 1913 himself. Noble Jew Ali. You who doubt whether I, the prophet, and my principles are right for the redemption of my people, go to those that know law in the city hall and among the officials in your government, and ask them under an intelligent tone, and they will be glad to give you a favorable reply, for they are glad to see me bring you out of darkness into light. Money doesn't make the man, it is free national standards and power that makes a man and nation. The wealth of all national governments, gold and silver and commerce, belong to the citizens alone, and without your national citizenship by name and principles, you have no true wealth. And I am hereby calling on all true citizens that stand for a national free government and the enforcement of the Constitution to help me in my great missionary work, because I need all support from all true American citizens of the United States of America. Help me to save my people who have fallen from the constitutional laws of the government. I am depending on your support to get them back to the constitutional fold again, that they will learn to love instead of hate, and will live according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, supporting our free national Constitution of the United States of America. So it's very clear. It's very clear what Noble Drew Ali came to do as far as wake us up and get us back into the constitutional fold, which is civics, right? Which also has a religious application to it that is applicable, that is practical. That's why the Moorish Science Temple of America is a religious corporation, because it is a corporate arm for us to exercise our religion through. No different than everybody else has their little mosque, church, synagogue, temple that they use in order to exercise their religious power, if you will, right? Federal Reserve, 1913. Noble Drew Ali, 1913, right? Telling everybody, take your money out the bank, system's gonna crash. Some people did it, some people didn't. But the prophet, knowing what was going on, put out all the proclamations, put out all the literature, and told the Mohrs, study. Study, study, study. Study, study, study. And don't stop studying. Because science means study. That's why this is Moorish Science Temple of America. So this is the Moorish Study Temple of America. We put this on the record before. That's what it is. People who want to be part of this and then jump off because, you know, there's no money in being a Grand Sheikh, and there's no money in being a Mufti, and there's no money in being a Grand Treasurer, and there's no money in being a Grand Chairman or Grand Governor, right? Most of those people don't have heart for this, so they jump ship and they create some black thing, try to get you attached to that, when 2012 the Moor just showed you that we're Moors, even in Germany. And it's something that we've been saying. One of the examples that we use mostly is the fact that these people that think they're Negro, black, colored, Islam fam, are called Moors. Even in Germany, they're called Moors in the German language. And the brother came to verify, right, with facts, pictures that he took with his own camera, saddling a bridge to take pictures for you guys of a Moorhead, right, just to prove the fact, just to prove the fact. Fact. We're not talking about opinion. We're not talking about hearsay. We're talking about signs that people are using right now. Signs. Signs on a building. Right? They're putting it out there in Germany. They're putting it out there. Frankfurt and what was the other place that you did? All the places that you named where you
and Munich and Baysweiler and Curtin and all these different, and this is just a handful. They're just all over Germany, and there's 80. If you think there's 16 different provinces, if you want to say in Germany, 80 million people.
Right. So think about the impact that the Moors had. Like I'm saying, we could talk about signs and we can talk about, you know, businesses and, you know, they have things that's, you know, established and there's dates on it and all that. But when you have a Moorhead carved into a bridge in stone in 2012, people walk across that bridge every single day. Every single day people walk across that bridge. Right? Actually, where's the other one too? So just so you could like digest where this head is. Look where this head is.
It's right there.
The average, let's talk about this picture. How do you see that head on the corner of a bridge? That, if you know, like depending on where you're walking, you're not gonna see.
Yeah.
You're not gonna see that. You know what I mean? And this is why we say that no matter where you are, as far as your level of this information, once you grasp in your mind that you're not black, you have a duty to put the information out that you find having to do with the fact that you're not black, right? So we want to talk about that bridge picture, and because again, you know, really look at it in many perspectives. You know what I mean? Look at it in my perspective. Look at it in Brother Sheldon's perspective. Look at it in Adizah's perspective. Look at it in BBC and those guys' perspective, right? So you can get a full picture of what's going on. This is a bridge, right? We have bridges out here. All the bridges out here that we have are metal bridges. All the bridges that we have, these aren't. This is how long this bridge been around.
It's a pedestrian
man
bridge,
carved the bridge. Like, a man carved the bridge, right? In stone. Like people made this bridge. This is not a bridge like people brought machinery and all this type of stuff. This is a man-made bridge. And of all the things in Germany, like all the things in Germany, they're gonna put a Moorhead on the bridge in stone.
And this kind of goes back to what I was speaking with Adisa about, how Nuremberg was destroyed in World War II, and they had to rebuild it with they rebuild it in historic artifacts in mind, so that it still looks as it did in a sense prior to the war. So actually, when I think about this carving, I'm pretty sure that bridge was destroyed in the war, and it probably wasn't a bridge there, and then eventually they built it after 1945, and then they put a Moor's head on it.
Right.
They can put anything.
You know?
Right. And not only a Moor's head, like, and then if you look at this one now, right? Now when you look at this one, right? Next to the Moor's head, you can see the Master's seal. The Master's seal, which could also represent the wheel to steer a ship.
Yeah.
And then there's an anchor. Yeah. There's an anchor sitting. Oh, this is so disgusting. Right?
Yeah.
Right? That's an anchor right there. There's an anchor. Right? So that's an anchor, and then the other side of the anchor is a half circle.
And not only is that the head, that's a coat of arms.
Right, yeah, that's what we're saying. Right?
Yeah.
Right? So like on this one right here, right?
Which is family, tradition,
lineage,
dealing with property.
Right, you can see the Master's seal, and then the anchor. Right? Or it's what's the steering wheel of a boat called?
The
wheel. Just the wheel. That's it.
Just the wheel.
Yeah. So the wheel, right?
Yeah.
Half a wheel, and then if you check the notches on the wheel are on the time. So there's a notch at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 2 o'clock. Right? And then the anchor, and then the Moorhead, and then who knows what's around the corner of this bridge.
No, that's true.
You know?
Isn't Germany known right now to be like one of the most scientifically advanced companies?
I mean, if you think about it, no, it's true that you say that, because everybody talks about German engineering, and it's been like that for the past
how long? Even all the solar panels and the permaculture, the whole organic living.
They have the wind machines, but they're supposedly, for some reason, closing that down. They're shutting a lot of those wind turbines.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're doing that, but a lot of people are complaining about that. But yeah.
Okay, so but they're known for that. Like everything when they're learning about, they're building these, there's this group of people who are duplicating like say a tractor trailer, but they're using just materials from the earth, and it costs like a fifth of the price for a real tractor trailer, and all the companies are German. All of them are German. Or from here, I hear people talking about, oh, well, in Germany, they have like the standard is kind of a little bit more.
But what's funny about that is BASF is also a German company, and that is the largest chemical company in the world.
Okay.
And so they literally have a friend of mine's working there now. He left Adidas and he's working there. And exactly. And like he said, it's almost like a city. And there's designated places that you can smoke. You can't just smoke on the compound like that because of fumes and all that. And so
for real.
But
it makes sense because if you have to balance out.
Right?
I don't care who you are.
You
have to balance. You have to balance out.
Yeah.
So maybe that's right. So then that means, anyway, I was getting to is they're on the science. They know the science.
Yeah.
They know the science. So knowing the science, there's a scientific explanation why they built that bridge
that way.
Or rebuilt
exactly.
the bridge
Right. That's not just, hey, let's build a bridge. We'll just put a Moorhead on it. You know? Like, no.
It's science.
For fun, right?
I
wanted to go back to this Sarati.
I'm photocopying this chapter for you.
The Sarati chocolate, right? Because, we're looking at this one right here, right? But look at these Mohrs right here in the boat now.
Right. And it says Drei Mohren Mischung.
Right.
3 Mohrs mixture.
Boat.
Right. Chilling in the boat, rowing.
Oh yeah, that's true. There's a top in the top part there too. Right. I didn't even take a picture of that one. Yeah, that's true.
Right, and brother, these are saying that's like if you check the boat, right?
Carthage.
That is, quote unquote, Phoenician, quote unquote, Kemetic, quote unquote, indigenous boat. That's the same boat that you're gonna see the shamans in the Amazon gonna go dig that, go get the ayahuasca.
They still make them today,
right? Yeah. And they're still making those boats today, and they're using this boat for the Mohrs on some chocolate in Germany. In where's this one from?
Germany.
In Germany, right? Sarati chocolate, Sarotti.
If you Google it, they're still in business, but they've changed the logo to a lighter complexion more, and it's more graphic. So it's not eyes and stuff. Right. It's a profile of the Mohr and stuff. So
stop playing around, Mohrs. Okay, look, there's no Bujwali right there, right? There's no Bujwali with the feather, with the turban, with the big jewel on the front of the turban.
Dark skin,
right? And he's dark skin. And then they have the dark skin chocolate figurines or cartoons or caricatures or whatever you want to call them, with the turban, with the feather, and with the jewel on it. And they even have the tassel, which means that under that turban there's a fez under there. And some natties, everything. The whole works, right? And then you have European over on this side, mad. Right? Mad because she's not the best selling chocolate. You know what I mean? But this is amazing. This is amazing. A couple more. Yeah, yo. We wanted to say a big Islam to you. I got, the Mohrs been texting me. The Mohrs are from around, so Canaanland just wanted to, extend gratitude to you for being active. All the Mohrs in Canaanland, because it was a lot of it was just talk. The Mohr in Germany, but it's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? And again, like Allah makes sure that everything's in order, right? So we can go a little bit deeper, right? If you remember when we were talking about talking about the Mohr in Germany and all that, I was making reference to Tobago, and then in Tobago there being a street called McCletchy Street, which is the name that I had, right? And McCletchy being connected to the Mohrs because of the MC, right? And then the brother, his name is McCletchy,
Mackenzie.
and then his name has the MC,
Yeah.
right? In Mackenzie, right? Yeah. He's
Yeah.
Mackenzie.
I'm Mackenzie.
Okay.
Right?
Makes sense.
What? No, watch how deep it is, right?
Okay.
So, come to find out now that his dad and my dad are building houses in the same area in Tobago. Right?
Yo, I can go. We can go out.
Yo, we could go on for days.
To the point where
Days.
when my pops was in Tobago the last time, he was chilling with his pops on top of the hill, drinking beer and just liming.
Yo.
Like,
From the same village.
Yo.
Definitely
Real talk.
Yeah, real. From the same village, the same small village.
crazy.
And when I told him, he said, "Yeah, man, his father is so and so, lives right around the corner, but from Tortuga there, where your uncle built this thing." I'm like, "Okay, that's right down the road from the house."
And then that's what we were explaining to the Mohrs about
Alright.
the McCletchy name in Tobago being a big name, right? Like being a name that people know. Like that's a name that you ask anybody. If you go to Tobago, ask anybody about my dad. They'll tell you, "Oh yeah, I know him. He taught my sons, and you know what I mean. He taught my daughters,
teacher, right?
and he was a teacher. You know what I mean,
Yeah.
right? And it's small island. You know everybody because parents care. They're going to parent-teacher meeting. Teachers care. They're calling home when parents do it, when students doing craziness or whatever like that. You know what I mean? You might even get some licks from your teacher back home. You know what I mean? Because it's a whole different mindset. Just like Germany, whole different mindset. They're gonna talk crap and play around with Nazi Germany and Hitler and blah, but they got Morris heads everywhere around there. Companies called Morin. Businesses called Morin. Little tar babies with turbans on them. Right?
Yeah, this blew me away right here. And this is, and this is Austria. They have 12 different styles of beer, all with Morse heads on them.
I'm interested in the Austrian information that you have too.
Check. Well, the website is right here.
Austrian,
The website. Check this out. The website is right there. That's the page.
Yeah,
You can do that right now.
And for also too just put it on the record if you already have it.
They are.
The website.
Oh, the website.
Because I might need to get it. back
Okay,
up.
I'm gonna have to spell it out. It's www.mohrenbrauerei, which is MOHRENBRAUEREI.at. AT is for Austria. And you click on there, and then they have different pull down menus. If you go into the product menu and you open that, you'll see a list of just beers, and it's like, I think there's even more than this 12 here. So that's www.mohrenbrauerei, all one word, .at. It's in German, so but product is product with a K instead. Hope you. Yeah, there it is. That's the full website to get to all these beers, but just navigate through it. You might even be able to type it into Google, and when it comes up, there might be a thing saying translate this page, and if you click it, you'll translate it and you'll get it in English. So.
We got some time. I just wanted to read, put on the record, Canaanland Mohrs, Mohr Science Temple of America, Mohr Divine National Movement, Mohr Holy Temple of Science, aims and goals of the Mohr Science Temple of America. This is just a flyer that we give out here, so we just wanted to put this out there. As well, honors to the Atlantis Mohrs with Grand Governor Heru in Atlantis. We appreciate those Mohrs for their activity always. Some of the stuff that we're going to be reading came from their aims and goals for their temple.
That's for you.
Thank you very much,
And
sir.
because those Mohrs are active, we deal with active Mohrs, and we work with active Mohrs, and we feed off of active Mohrs, right? And active Mohrs feed off of us. That's just how we balance out the energy. So, aims and goals of the Mohr Science Temple of America, Ontario Territory, Office of the Canaanland Grand Body. And the Canaanland Grand Body is all the Mohrs. It's not some, no big eyes or little U's like Brother Tallahassee talks about Islam. Right? 1. The proper name must be selected for the Moorish American. Some call him Black, African Canadian, Caribbean Canadian, West Indian, from the islands, at risk, etc. The proper name of these people is Moorish American because they are descendants of Moroccans born in America. This matter is to be looked at with hopes of correcting it. 2. We seek to put an end to all inferior names because possession of these inferior names classifies one as civilly dead for all abuses and mistreatments that lawful citizens care to bestow upon them. 3. The object of our organization is to help in the great program of uplifting fallen humanity, a national organization with a Rotarian complexion. 4. We seek to warn humanity of their sinful ways and inspire them to return to their foremothers and forefathers' divine and national principles, that they will be jurisprudence abiders and receive their divine rights as citizens according to their free national constitution that was prepared for all free national beings. 5. We seek to keep our people, men, women, and children, away from negative scenarios involving peace officers, out of courts in a defendant capacity, and out of jails and prisons. 6. We seek to continue to facilitate social programs such as prison ministries and transitional programs for young and old to transition out of prison institutions and back to the bands of society peacefully and successfully. 7. We seek to introduce Moorish Americans in Canada to the morals and principles of their ancient foremothers and forefathers. We are teaching their men they must support their wives and children. Wives must honor their husbands and be the foundation of the household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of uplifting fallen humanity. 8. We seek to educate humanity with the reality that there is enough work for all to do to help build a better world. 9. We seek to rally support from all loyal, faithful, active Moorish Americans, members, and lawful citizens to help us in our great work of uplifting fallen humanity. We ask all to help us morally and financially. 10. The remedy of truth is the cure for religious controversy. We seek to foster the teachings of Yahshua, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, Ali, and all divine prophets. 11. We seek to teach our people that though we must be proud of our religion Islamism, handed down to us by our ancient foremothers and forefathers, we must never use our doctrines to practice segregation. 12. We seek to teach our people that success is earned, not given. After the example of our Prophet Noble Jew Ali, we must labor day and night in public and private for the good of humanity. 13. We seek to teach our people to denounce anything that deludes to the institution of slavery. This includes being late to engagements, appointments, meetings, or occasions. Punctuality is a trait of the noble, upright, fearless, and independent Moor, that he have love for their people through the guidance of the Father God Allah. 14. We seek to teach our people that there is only one sole foundation for the salvation of our people, and it comes only through the connection to the Moorish divine and national movement of the world founded by Prophet Noble Jew Ali. It is earnestly hoped that the Moorish divine and national movement of North America, the Moorish Holy Temple of Science of the world, and the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to be compared to any Back to Africa movement. 16. We seek to remind our people that without understanding, they have fallen from the true light into utter darkness of sin, and there is not a nation on earth today that will recognize them socially, religiously, politically, or economically in their present condition of their uncivilized undertaking, in which they themselves try to force upon a civilized world. Islam. So Prophet Noble Jew Ali speaks to the nations If you have race pride and love your race, join the Moorish Science Temple of America and become a part of this divine movement. Then you will have the power to redeem your race, because you will know who you are and your forefathers were. Because where there is unity, there is strength. Together we stand, divided we fall. Come, good people, because I, the prophet, sent to redeem this nation from mental slavery, which you have now, need every one of you who think that your condition can be better. This is a field open to strong men and women to uplift the nation and take your place in the affairs of men. If the Europeans and other nations are helping me, why not you? It is your problem. The Negro problem is being solved only as it can, and that is by the Moorish Divine and National Movement. If you have a nation, you must have a free national name in order to be recognized by this nation as an American citizen. This is what is meant when it said, "Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all things will be added unto you," by the prophet. And then we got our website, canaanlandmohrs.webs.com. Don't forget iamcourage.webs.com, moorishguidepost.com, rvbaypublications.com, moorishpublicrecords.com, youtube.com/SUTTEKHEL. Don't forget the Ustream channel. And let me send that one right there.
Yeah, man, because you don't really big up yourself.
Yeah, yo. So let's big this one up, right? We're gonna big this one up first. It's gonna be posted soon. We're gonna send it out, but it's already planned and ready.
Huge.
3rd annual Noble Drew Ali Day celebration in Canaanland. We're looking for vendors, so if you're interested in vending, reach out to Canaanland Mohrs, 416-301-7216. Right? The day is going to include, as usual, the community awards, where we award members in the community that's been active in helping the Prophet Noble Drew Ali uplift Negro, Black, colored people in Canaanland, Toronto. Also, too, there's going to be Skype lectures. The topic is Birth of a Prophet 100 Years Later. And we're going to have one Skype lecture with Grand Governor Aki Bey and Grand Sheikh Dawid Aliel from Mecca. And we're going to have another Skype lecture with Grand Sheikh Taj Tariq Bey, which is all going to be on the same day. So for information and vending, 416-301-7216. Get that on the record again. And as well, for people who are in Toronto, don't forget November 17th, the Black Dot is going to be in town. It's going to be at 340 Sentinel Road, same place that we're going to be having Drew Ali Day, 340 Sentinel Road. And just so you know, Grand Sheikh Kudro is going to be opening for Black Dot, and the lecture is entitled Moorish Connection to Hip Hop. So believe me, we're gonna go pretty far in to show the connection of Moors and hip hop from its inception to 2012 and beyond. All right, so we're gonna get that ready. And then don't forget also, the book's coming out soon, Noble Drew Ali Plenipotentiaries. So that's coming out soon. Also, the Memory Lane mix CD is going to be coming out soon. All right, so we're just going to close out with the prayer. We want to say Islam again to brother, we got to say brother Mohr Bey, brother Morin Bey. Yeah. Germany.
More Islam.
Yeah,
you open up Vortex. I noticed so far with it, like
Vortex.
Like you, I don't know, you probably know, but so-called it seems like they're just pictures. But now, like, you don't even know, new people coming into have to see practical things,
Right?
So that this is enabling them to see and they're gonna take it and they're gonna go.
They're gonna go crazy with it.
And it may be small, but it's on record.
It's on the record.
So give thanks.
So give thanks for that work.
Activity.
That's active, right?
Yeah.
That's what active,
Yes,
not
man.
passive is.
Yes.
Right? Active, not passive is taking initiative.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because brother took it on himself to
No,
go
it's-
dangle off a bridge to get pictures from you people.
Right.
Right?
Right. And teaching.
You know what I'm saying?
And teaching and his experience and
Right.
sharing that. Like that's what takes
And
that.
what does Canaanland Mohrs teach?
Yeah.
Right? Experience
Do
is
it.
the best teacher.
Let's do it.
Right?
Yeah, man.
Until you break the board, your belt doesn't mean nothing. You know what I mean? Right? You have to experience it. Because when you go through the experience, it's going to empower you to
That's it.
keep going.
That's it.
Just because you're going to see how real it is for yourself. You know what I mean? So we're just going to close out with the prayer. Any other comments or anything?
Nah,
Brother, I don't know if you want to.
No, I just thank you for having me.
No problem,
Appreciate
man.
it,
No
man.
problem. That's how we do.
Yeah.
Keep
That's how
coming,
we-
keep coming. I know you're travelers still.
Yeah.
Yo, come on the
Backpacker.
5th if you can come
Backpacker.
too. Yeah. Come on the 5th if you
Backpacker.
can, man.
All
I'm
right.
sure. I
We-
don't know how it is out there, but I don't know if you have a lot of like your people around you.
Mm.
But if you can come around here
Yeah.
anytime, just catch a vibe, cause there's people still.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And how you're coming in and that inspires others. Hey, so it's not just us.
Yeah, and like I'm
Yeah.
saying,
Inspires them even more.
phone's been going off,
Yeah.
Mm.
right? Phone's been going off. Just today alone, with Mohrs just saying, yo.
Right. And then watch
Right.
other Mohrs now, another territory,
You know
start linking with people
Right.
in
With
Europe.
people in
and all
Europe,
that.
wherever, right?
right.
Because
They know
Yeah.
too.
that's what it's really about. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Us recognizing for ourselves what it is.
What it is.
We don't need anybody to tell her.
Yeah.
I don't need David McRitchie when I got the Mohr
Right.
to come and
Exactly.
tell me that there's
Exactly.
Mohrs in Germany.
Right.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
yeah, thanks, David McRitchie. You know, I appreciate it, but
Mm.
it coming from you
Right.
is
Exactly.
a totally different perspective
Exactly.
than it
Point.
coming from another brother.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Is
That's
the
what-
law.
yeah.
And just like we were saying too, it's not a hate thing or a dislike. You know what I mean? Because I have David McRitchie's book at my house. It's not, we don't get down like that. You know what I mean? Big up Rick Smith and Peter Moon and you know what I'm saying? All these Europeans that's been doing stuff to put the word of the Mohrs out there. Give thanks. But it's time for Mohrs
Yeah.
to start doing, you know what I mean? It would be so amazing. You know, somebody go get at Runoko Rashidi. Tell him put a fez on and go back and do all those lectures that he did in India and Cambodia
Tie them
and
together,
and all these places. Throw a fez on and go talk to those people and see how they deal with you now that you're really exercising that you're a historian because you're wearing your graduation cap. Right? And once you wear your graduation cap, trust me, they're gonna listen to you and they're gonna hear you. Experience is the best teacher. So we're gonna close out with the prayer. You already know, Mohrs. Give thanks for being online today. We got eight of us online.
I got 2 texts in
Right.
good class.
Islam.
Very good.
5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of
love,
Truth.
truth,
Peace.
peace,
Freedom.
freedom,
And justice.
and justice.
Allah is our protector.
Allah is our protector,
Our guide.
our guide,
And our salvation.
And our salvation.
By night.
by night
And by day.
And by day.
Through his and her holy prophet.
Through his and her holy prophet.
Noble Juali.
Noble Ali.
Amen.
Amen.
Amin.
Amin.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Hotep.
Hotep.
Islam.
Islam,
Islam.
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 Oh, and how we say Amen in German?
I think it's just Amen.
Islam.
Islam, Mohrs.
Fallen humanity. On their way.
Oh, damn, this thing is-
Yeah, no, great, man.
Yo,
I was
bro.
there's only 1 chapter out of it.
Right.
So what I'm gonna
That's
do
all right.
is